Hey guys, welcome back to SRE. I've got the machine work is done what I wanted done to my ALX 100 twin, and I would like to show you guys what I did. It's probably not for everybody, but there was a couple things that I thought that the engine needed that weren't quite right when I got it. Okay, first thing was when you put the piston down at bottom dead center, when you looked through the exhaust port, because I never took the engine apart until I had run it and everything this whole season. And then, but when I was putting it together and got it out of the box and was taking a look at it, looking at everything, I noticed that when the piston was at bottom dead center, that a lot of the piston was still in the exhaust port. So I knew that that meant that it was also covering part of the transfer ports, which, a piston right dead smack in the middle of the transfer ports is going to screw up the transfer and the way it spreads out, the way BZM designed the cylinders to where to put the fuel and air and how to spread it out over the bore in the cylinder. So I knew I wanted to change that. That's the biggest thing. The second thing that I've got to get this done yet is I scribed out the bore around the cylinder, or around the head, and you can see that it's not centered. Okay, so that's something that's got to be taken care of. And the quench band is completely flat. I don't like that. I want it to taper, probably a 9-degree or so taper into the bubble of the combustion chamber. The shape that he has the bubble is pretty damn good. It's about what you want. And the squish to bore ratio is a little bit wide as far as I'm concerned. For the RPM that this thing runs at, I think it's a little wide. Okay. All right. So let me show you what I did to the pistons. First, I did oil dimples that line up with the auxiliary exhaust ports in the cylinder, and on this side I lined them up with the A transfer. I figured why, it'll help with pinching or seizure. We took 5 thousandths off from right there up of the circumference of the piston. I made a 20 thousandths pop up, and I also vertically gas ported the top of the piston. And the biggest thing was, this was a serious bottleneck, majorly restrictive. You see on the bottom of the bore how wide that is, and that's what lets the fuel and air out from the bottom of the piston up through into the transfer wells, into the transfer. So if you've got that blocked off by 70%, or that's not a good thing. So we wanted another engine that really responds to that modification is the GP460. Major deal. So I didn't really want to put a bunch of base gaskets under the cylinders to fix the piston being in the covering up half of the transfers and all that. So the way I did it was I removed the material from the top of the piston, left the center so we can bump the compression up, and then cut that exact amount off the top of the cylinders. So effectively, we did, without raising them, in relationship to the stroke, we have raised the entire port map by doing that. Okay? So I hope you guys can grasp that. Let's see. So the last mod we're going to do is that. We're going to fix that head. That's the last modification that we're going to do. So I'm going to assemble the pistons, the rings, and the cylinders. Get everything washed first, of course, spotless. And then we're going to deburr everything, make sure everything has no sharp edges anywhere. Then we'll start putting the studs back in and get everything ready to go. But I just wanted you guys to get a look at it and see what I chose to do to my... And if you have an ALX Super 50 and you have these cylinders, that I think that's what they use on that one, is a BZM cylinder, or a Trevor Simpson 40 or 50. They use the same cylinder, which I owned and I've ported. These are some modifications that have worked really well for me, and you guys will really notice a good gain for the amount of work that you have to do. And everything that we've done here can be done at home on a, World War II era small lathe. It's not a big deal. Or you can not do that and just do the base gasket and then pay someone to cut the top. Okay? If you don't want to do this stuff to the piston like I did. That's totally up to you. But again, I do this, I show you guys this stuff, and sometimes I take some serious heat for doing it from my friends and some of the guys that race my engines and stuff, and they wonder, why would you show these guys what you're doing? And well, that's why I originally started this channel, was to help guys out that are trying to learn how to port and modify two-stroke engines at home, and they don't have the money, or they don't want to spend the money. They got a young family and they need every dollar. Well, this saves you big money doing this stuff by yourself. So, okay, guys, I hope you liked the video. Comment down below. Throw me a thumbs up if you think it's good information. If you don't, hey, let me have it. I don't care. I'm always open to learn and to get told what I'm doing wrong. All right, fellas. Have a good day. Peace.